apocalyptic story of a man who is persistent in his principles and determined in his bravery and courage that he is able to save countless of lives in the hell that is the Battle of Okinawa in the ship theater. Perhaps he's not known by so many of us here, but today I will introduce you to the knowledge of him. Desmond Doss, the man who received the Medal of Honor for his unrelenting courage and bravery. Doss was born in Virginia, 7 February 1960, into a devout Christian family. There, one of the main principles he held was that one shall not kill. A principle that may seem simple for the most of us, but near impossible to do in a situation of war. And as World War II raged, after the events of Pearl Harbor, Doss voluntarily signed into the U.S. military as a medic, but he ended up in the infantry. This is where his principles become challenged. Pick up your weapons, private! His commander would shout. He hated him as he insisted on not bringing any weapons. He was also a seemingly fragile and thin man, someone who was seen as disposable. Why aren't you using your weapons? You think you're better than us, you coward? His very own mates would say at him as they ostracized and tortured him. Doss was almost fired from the military, even though in the end, the martial court allowed him to become a medic. And as Doss became a medic, he showed a very high dedication in saving his mates. On May 1945, during the Battle of Okinawa, the Americans took over the mine compartment, more well known today as Hacksaw Ridge. And it was during this brutal battle that Doss cemented his legacy. Because after the soldiers ran to save themselves, Doss stayed to look for and save his injured mates. He would pray, God, please just let me save one more soul. For every single one of his rescues. And with no weapons, and only the power of his bravery and prayer, he does it again and again. Over the course of battle, Doss single-handedly saved over 75 to 100 wounded soldiers. Doss was wounded 4 times during the Battle of Okinawa, but he never wavered. In the end, for his unrelenting courage and bravery, he was awarded the Medal of Honor on October 12, 1995. And as a human with doubts and fears, living in a world where other people's lives were seen as meaningless compared to your own amusements, Doss' standing on his principles gives us a strong message about the importance of integrity and sacrifice. It also gives us a great lesson about courage. A courage to be different. Doss was seen as different, and he was hated because of it. And even after facing the brutalities and violence of war, he never wavered. He stood strong to his principles to save lives. He sacrificed so much for the very people who hated him. He was brave. And I think we should be brave too. Thank you.